In today's video, I'm going to share with you guys how to design a website from scratch on Figma. If you are a beginner, this is perfect for you because I'm also going to be sharing with you how to pay attention to the user experience on a website and where to really begin when it comes to building out all of the sections. If you are new here, my name is Megan. I have been a brand and web designer for the last 9 years and I've worked with tons of clients. I've also learned what makes the process of making a website run smoothly when it comes to working with clients. And part of that process is designing on Figma before I develop. There are so many amazing plugins now that allow you to actually convert your Figma design into a live working website, whether you're going to use Framer, WordPress, there's lots of plugins now, but I still love to mock up the site before I go and make it live. This just saves me so much headache from having to edit the site design after it's already built out because I'm able to just quickly edit the colors on Figma and edit sections. It just runs so much smoother because once you build things out, it's a little bit more tricky to go back and rebuild over and over again. So I'm going to actually screen record and show you guys how I start my Figma designs, what I actually think about when it comes to a website, and I hope you guys enjoy. Okay, I am at my computer, and the first thing that I typically do when it comes to any website project is I like to kind of plan out the wireframe. So there's two different types of wireframes that we can start with. We can do a high fidelity wireframe or a low fidelity wireframe. For the purpose of this video, I'm gonna do a low fidelity and then show you how I would turn it into high fidelity. But the difference between those is basically the low fidelity is just like blank gray squares. That is where you would put an image and then placeholder text. So it's a really great place, especially if your clients, if you're going to be working with them and they don't have their copy yet or their photos yet, you could always start with a low fidelity wireframe and then add that all in once they get everything, and gives them a way to see what content they need to write and also how many photos they need to get. So I do like low fidelity wireframes, but for me, typically I actually will sometimes draw it out on paper where I'll put like, here's the hero image, and I'll kind of just brainstorm with pen to paper. But I'm gonna show you guys inside of Figma how to do this and how I would start with it. The nice thing with Figma is that you can actually use some of their templates. So they do have some low fidelity templates you can start with if you kind of want to just get some practice. Like if I were brand new into web design, that's what I would do. I would first start with templates to practice and see like what is a good practice for a website layout. But I'm going to show you guys how to do this from scratch. Okay, so when I'm starting a Figma for a website, I'm going to go to design right here. And I do pay for Figma now. There is a free plan, but I don't think it gets you too many projects. So I do pay for it now because I use Figma all the time. I also use it for my brand design, like brain dumps. So it is something I definitely get a lot of use out of. But when starting out, the first thing that we're gonna want to do is we're gonna go over here and we're gonna select the frame tab right here. And then I'm also gonna go in here, and I usually start with the desktop sizing. One thing to note when you start with the desktop size, when you go to prototype it and put it in the actual like laptop mock-up view, it's going to be a little bit like off the edge, but desktop sizing for me is the safest bet for any screen size that my clients might be viewing this at. So I'm gonna click on desktop size right there, and this will be like our home page. So I'm gonna title it home, and we can either create pages. So if you prefer to do like your home, about, all of those in different pages here, then I could technically just start a new template in here or a new frame inside of this page, and we can title these like home, and then we can title that about. But I typically put all of my layers and everything in the same page. So there might be some things that aren't like absolutely perfect practice, but this is how I typically do my website designs. So I have my home page inside of my layers here, or my home frame in the layers here. I feel like the biggest thing to get down is the terminology in Figma, but that will come with time as well. So we have my frame, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna create my layout guide. Since we're doing a low fidelity wireframe, this will help us with keeping everything consistently aligned. So the way I do it is I'll go in here, and I want this to be columns. I usually do 12, 120, 20. That way we have a little bit of a margin on the sides, or a gutter on the sides, and then we have like a good amount of spacing in the middle. This is what I usually use to design, and the nice thing is you can like hide it by clicking this little eye button here, but this helps so much when it comes to actually bringing the whole website to life. Okay, so to do the low fidelity wireframe, what I will do is I'm going to just add some text here. We're gonna call this logo. And if this was a high fidelity wireframe, meaning we're putting all of the fonts, the colors, the images, everything together, then my next step would be to create the styles. So we have text styles here, color styles here. So this is why I typically require to do branding before a website, because then I can easily go in here, add all the styles so everything's consistent on every page. And even if you're not like providing branding for your clients, you're probably going to end up doing that anyway, because you need colors and fonts to make a website. So I usually add this in like right away. And then we can also save our layout guide. So I'm actually gonna go back into my styles and I'm gonna save this columns. Let's open this up. 12, 120, 20, create style. That way we have our grid layout. No matter what page we're on, we don't have to always copy that layout guide. We have that we can apply to any page. And then for styles, I'm just going to quickly add in like an H1. So let's call this H1. We can use enter, and I'm gonna do size 48 for this, and we're gonna do bold. And then for H2, I am going to do enter again, but we're gonna do size 32, create H3. Headings is super important for SEO, but it's also important for accessibility, because if there's someone visually impaired that goes to the site, they'll be able to read the headings and know what this page is about. So that's why it's also important for SEO, because that's like the first thing that search engines are going to crawl. So we have our H1, H2, H3. I'm going to do 24, create H4, we will do 20. And then I'm also gonna do a paragraph text here, and we'll do size 16. Okay, so to make it even easier for you guys to remember like what actually goes on a website page, I wrote out some notes here on the side. This is kind of like the format I like to follow, where the top section is the hero section. So that has headline, or the H1, the most important thing about the website. We have the description. What is this website about? We want it to sound like really like fun and like have the brand voice in it. But headline, description, call to action, that is like non-negotiable for every website. We want that front and center at the top. And then usually below that, I do some sort of like benefit of or description of the product and service. So we want to like break it down even more, why they should work with you, or like the values of the brand, or I like to do like little custom icons to kind of like really showcase this, or any brand photography to really give the full story. And then typically I like to have a social proof section. So like just testimonials, or like why you should work with this specific person, or why you should buy from this specific person. Or if it's a shop page, that's even easier. You can have reviews on the products. And then below that, I typically have another service breakdown, or an about you section. So like if it is going to be a service-based business where they're specifically working with you, this is where you should introduce yourself, why they should work with you, who you are. And I like to have that typically either above or below the testimonials. And then below that, I typically like to have a section that has them sign up for a freebie or join the email list. I am a huge believer in an email list is super important no matter what business you're in. I think it's kind of a non-negotiable, to be honest, because it's the one audience, the one marketing channel you own. So I also like to have a section for most of my clients that captures the email. And then below that, I like to have one final call to action of like, what should they do next? Do they want to work with you? Maybe they were reading everything on the page, and that is like the final way to get them to take action. And then I have the footer, but I didn't actually write that down. But this is typically the layout I follow for the websites, and I like to make sure that I have call to action, social proof, all of this information, no matter what the business is. But that is just like a little insight into actually how to set up your wireframe in Figma. And then like I said, when I'm ready to start adding images in and copy in, this is typically what it looks like. And it's just basically exactly how I showed you here. I'll have squares, I add the image, and I do a mask of the image. So if I go and click here, I can add an image. Let me just go grab one. And then I can go and bring that in here. There we go. So then I just like to mask it to keep the sizing the same on the low fidelity wireframe, and then I just add the copy in, and then the easy thing is you could click here and actually change the font to whatever the client's font is or whatever the branding is. So sometimes it's nice to have some low fidelity wireframes on hand to use as like a starting point for your clients. You can kind of start your websites from that and work from that as well. But that is typically how I design on Figma. If you guys want a more in-depth tutorial, I go a lot more in-depth on inside of my Patreon, so be sure to check that out because I have a coupon code for you guys down below. But this is just a little bit of a high-level view of how I use Figma for my websites and for my website clients. And then when it comes to showing them the website, I click this play icon so that they can see what it looks like in a full width view. And then I also share the prototype from here. So I don't share the prototype from that other view. I only share the view of the prototype so that they don't see like any of my work going on or any of like the messy artboards. And then I just copy link, and they have to make an account in Figma to leave feedback, but none of my clients ever have an issue with that because it's free and it allows us to collaborate because they can click on this little comment bubble and drop it anywhere on the page. So it keeps things super streamlined and real time, which is also really cool. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you got a little bit of insight into what I think about when it comes to actually creating a website and what really makes a great user experience. So let me know down in the comments if you learned something new or if this was helpful to you. If it was, I would appreciate it so much if you gave it a thumbs up, but most importantly, I would love it so much if you subscribe to stick around for more videos like this. And if you guys want even more in-depth tutorials, be sure to check out my Patreon. I post in there every single week, and I like to share more behind the scenes of my client work. I like to give you guys the nitty-gritty details inside of Patreon. So if you guys want to join that, there's a discount code for all of my YouTube subscribers in the caption description down below. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.